All right, folks. I am going to do at least a little bit. I don't know how long this will be. I am currently pretty sick, and my voice is a little bit gone, and I may erupt into fits of coughing if I talk for too long. But I can at least try to make a little bit of progress on this Haskell app I've been working on. I got I got it to the point where it's downloading some web pages, just calling out the wget, nothing the least bit fancy. So I figured the next thing I should do is just hook the wget functionality up to the database so that I can at least mock out getting a fetch job from the database and then executing that job. Right now, job is really simple. The job proto just has a URL and a job ID, so it doesn't even have things like the state of the whether the job is run or completed or any of that normal stuff that you would have with the job queue. But this should be sufficient to just get going a little bit. In this wget module, I have a main function which I don't really need because I this should really just be a library. So let's take care of that first, I guess. Let's make this change this from a Haskell binary to a Haskell library. And then we will grab the main function and put it somewhere else. And what do we want to call that? So I guess we can consider that an integration test, right? So why don't we just plop it in the SQL integration tests, since I already have that. Is that what I want to do? I guess we could. I kind of don't want to do that. So why don't I try making SQL wget integration test.hs, which is not pleasant, but at least it'll be a separate file, and then it'll be easy to combine them if I want to. So I can't reuse this test module test thing, right? So what if I call it SQL wget integration? And I probably do need all of this stuff. Or no, I don't know. We'll try it without it. I'm not really sure what I was using overloaded strings for. I was using it for the Haskell statements. Haskell. I still haven't figured out how to say it. And I think I have to both say it and hear it, because just saying it in my head is it never comes out the way out loud as it does in my head. But at any rate, I may no longer need these, so we'll see if things fail. And I was just going to grab this wget function so I can pilfer its goods. And is there anything else I want to steal from this? I called this function test. I don't know why I did that. I don't think that's a thing that really matters, but I guess for convention, let's do that. And then really I'm going to move to an actual test framework for Haskell. But I'm just kind of in the mood to move forward with a little bit of the functionality and not get too hung up on the library stuff, even though I know that I need it in the long run. So let's see. I will grab this thing, and this will be my template for the wget integration test. Where is subword mode? There we go. I don't know what this capital test thing is. I think that this is the first test is the module name. So let's try this. What? Okay. And I don't need all of these. I can, I guess, just do select all jobs. I do need the job proto. I don't think I need that other proto. And I'm not even sure I need byte string. I probably need micro lens and proto lens. And I don't think I need opt parse applicative. So we'll see if we can get away with that restricted set of whatchamacallits dependencies. I do need to call the get all jobs thing. Select all jobs. So let's make sure that we import this. And I will just copy the same function. And we'll need a connection. So I need to copy some stuff from main here. Okay, that's why I had, yeah, I do need I do need more of these. I guess that's one reason to just combine it with this other file, but just to keep focus a little bit better. Let's try it this way. So now we will have a new argument, which is this download page URL. So let's get to that in 1 second. We have this guard that's just telling us not to run these integration tests on environments that don't have access to Postgres, which right now is mainly just anything that's mobile and that I don't want to run Docker on. Okay, and so I need to copy this opt parse stuffy. This is nonsense. I'll try that. I'm not sure what header does. I guess I'll leave it as the empty string. I don't know if that's allowed. So we have this option stuff. Data options equals options. Let's put it the same place. So we have the connection string still, and we also have, oh, no, we don't need to pass in the URL because we're getting the URL from the job. So we don't need this stuff that was in the wget stuff. What? Okay, so URL will get from the thing, and then we have this parsing stuff, which should really be part of the module for wget, it looks like. But I'll deal with that in a second. Okay, so we're gonna look up this environment variable. We need some more parse stuff, right? So I need this, whatever this thing is called. And I'll just leave it as the same, even though it's redundant with this other file right now. Okay, and that's maybe enough for to get going. And except now is the time to take this stuff, which is what's it doing? It's parsing the domain name to get the file name. And that should not be something that the caller of this wget functionality needs to be concerned with. So I want to take this and have it return, I guess, to produce some sort of error. Is that what I want? I'm not sure. I think if I did that, I'd have to commit to some particular way of handling errors, which is maybe acceptable. Do I have a gRPC service yet? Okay, I do, I guess, but it doesn't have error handling. Maybe I'll look what the gRPC Haskell people used. How can I do that? I'll just do a find grep of right. Maybe there's really only like one standard way to do it. Difference between left and right. Either? Is it using either? I kind of forgot about either. How about just Haskell error handling? So we can use exception, which I'm not going to do, error in pure code. That's like I don't know what error does. It maybe like panics, causes the evaluation to stop and crash. So exceptions, I guess, are something you can throw. And then we have the either type, where it has parse error is whatever. Okay, I don't want to define all of my own errors, do I? There's also control exception. Well, I guess I could do, right now I'm basically panicking. I could just continue to panic and then I'll be no worse off. Let's take a look at the wget code itself. So download page, I guess, should handle this parsing, I suppose. Because we're already doing I/O. And that's going to make it hard to test anyway, other than like in an integration test. But I guess this parse domain name, at least we have a testable function that returns a thing, is like a pure function. So I just basically need to take this case thing and decide what I want to do if we get nothing back. And I'll ask, I guess, Gemini. So in this code, I want to have some sort of error condition if in the nothing case. What do you recommend as Haskell best practice? For example, what would a Haskell developer expect if they passed a function unparsable? Is parsable not a word? Unparsable not a word? I will just assume it is an unparsable URL. And then I'll paste this in. Yummy Haskell. Hello. I forgot about chat. Let me pop this on out. Wait, what? I'm not sure how to pop this out. OBS is misbehaving. So I don't have access to the OBS stuff. I don't know if this will let me detach it. I'll just leave it up. All right. Invalid. Instead of exit failure, use put string line. No. Return nothing to propagate error. I don't think I want to do that. Because that doesn't really signal what anything about what happened. Or I could create my own. I can always pop out the on Twitch Stream Manager. Yes, I think I can. Somewhere here. There we go. That was a good idea. I forgot I could do that. Except I need to, for whatever reason on this OS, nothing ever wants to be above this virtual machine thing. There we go. Hello. Hey, WGAFA. How goes it? Okay, so I think I do want to use either, but I don't want to define all my own errors. Are there no standard error? What would you call them? Error types in Haskell? Well, I know that it doesn't have built-in. Okay. Well, I'm not going to do that. What I might do is I might just use the gRPC status codes. So what's a status code? How about unimplemented? How about not implemented? How about how about just code? gRPC status code. This is C code. All right. Well, this is a good way to wind down. Chilling out on Twitch and coding. Are you a Haskeller? One of the Haskell persuasion? Yeah, I think status code is what I want. Let's try looking at what I actually need to import. And hopefully it's not something really onerous. Okay, this is exporting status code. That doesn't seem right. Where's the build file? This is crazy. Okay, so it doesn't seem... I guess I would have to import this high-level library to use the status code. Is that right? Haskell gRPC status code. This is the same repo. So it looks like maybe mu Haskell has gRPC status codes. Oi. So what if we look for a status okay, and see if we can find out like where this where these statuses are defined. We see a few references. Status OK, details. Huh. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I've seen the definition of this, and it's really somewhere else. Maybe it's in low level. Import unsafe op. Is that right? Yeah, maybe unsafe op. This is like the C file. I guess maybe it's possible they're ultimately importing them from C. Status code enumerates a set of gRPC status codes. So we have this gRPC status code as status code underscore to case. Yeah, it kind of looks like if I want to import this, then I need to, it's like pretty low level. So this is using status code, but where is it? Is it importing stuff? Import unsafe op. Okay, so I think they ultimately do come from C, and maybe I can import them as Haskell types by using the high level stuff, but that's kind of like while reasonable, I guess, for gRPC interop, seems a little bit heavyweight, because that's going to make my little test depend essentially on a bunch of things, including compiling gRPC, which because of the way that the Haskell Basel rules work, is not simple, and I don't think that it really makes sense for this file to depend on the entire gRPC library just for error handling. So what I might eventually do is see if there's a better way of using those errors, because it's a reasonable set of errors, so that I don't have to define all of my own error conditions. But just for the sake of doing something at all, let's just have a function in wget and call it download page or die. And it will basically just be this. Download a web page. Or fail with, I guess I can try, oops. I entered God mode. Fail with error if the URL is not parsable. And so we're going to take this string. So why does it take two strings here? It takes the URL and the local file. So we're we're just going to take the URL, download page or die. And we're not going to take the file. And we're going to copy from the main function. Doesn't go there, it goes here. And this all looks fine, except instead of exit failure, I'll try calling error. I don't know if I need to import it. Error. Can't parse URL. And then I'll just paste in the URL, I guess. And what it will do, it will print some stuff. I'm also pretty sure that wget currently is not actually downloading the images. At least I didn't see any when I was testing this before. So I need to at some point address that, which I'm not going to do right now. And okay, so this probably doesn't compile yet. There's probably some or multiple glaring errors because I've just been copying and pasting code around pretty willy-nilly. I'm going to take maybe like a 5-minute break, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm really just learning it. I'm glad that you love Haskell. I think Haskell seems to be loved by many people. I'm not sure if Rust is definitely also loved by many people. I think Rust is more loved, but Haskell seems to have a very loyal base. Okay, so things should basically I'm almost ready to try compiling it, I guess is how I'll put it. So we don't need this anymore. And I guess I expect really any of this stuff could fail that I've done so far. But what I should be doing is I should, when I get the jobs from the database, I'm going to get a result. And the result is all of this stuff. And I'm calling put job line, I guess, is maybe a function that I wrote. Oh, no, it's down here. So I'm map emming it. And I'm not really good enough at Haskell to know that I should have used map m here. I think I either copied this from some example, or I tried a bunch of stuff until I figured out map m was what I was supposed to use. And then this is just it takes a message and just calls put_strlen on, I guess show message is really doing all the work. Then we have decode message or die, which I guess is doing the same thing that my parse message or parse, whatever is it, download page or die is doing. So I guess that's reasonable. If we're gonna have or die stuff all over the place, we can do that. Except now now I want to extract this function and make it into its own thing. And one would hope that you can just grab it and paste it like this. And we'll see if you can. But except instead of calling it put job line, we will call it download job. And we don't need this where clause. And so download job message is going to, I guess we're going to decode the message. I think we need maybe a do block here. I'm not sure if this is appropriate, but let's try that. And then what did we do before? Actually, let me undo these changes. Okay, so I'm going to grab this, put it down here. I'll call this job. I think it's let job. I don't know. And then we will call put strline show message job. And if that works, then the next thing to do is to like peek into this job and look at its URLs. Let's see if I do any of that in the SQL integration test. So we have this unpack p field URL thing. Is that job? No, that's an article. I forget if job and article are both proto lenses, proto lens protos. So let's take a look at the proto thingamajig. Yeah. Okay, so it seems like article is this proto 3 thing. So that's going to be a different way of reasoning about protos than proto lens. Let's find all the job things. So we get this message job. We have pj.jobid is setting this thing here. So let's just try looking up ProtoLens examples. So this is generation overloading some field stuff. Oh, I think this is there's some stuff for overloaded labels. I don't know if I need that at this point. Here's encode decode. But how do I just read a field? Maybe it's in the README. Are there maybe examples? Maybe in docs. This tutorial is just where I was, right? Okay, so I guess I can just look at this thing. So if I have this message bar, I get this bar thing with a bunch of weird underscore and apostrophes. Is that how I'm supposed to access it? All right, I'm just going to ask one of the AIs. So it's supposed to have these like composable field accessors, and I just don't know enough about Haskell to be able to quickly find the to be able to quickly find the syntax that I'm supposed to use. This is for defining. Oh, okay. Here we go. Print my bar. Or is this overloaded? That is still overloaded. Do we have other calls to print? How about other mains? Fooval. P maybe prime. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. I guess let's just start by seeing if this current batch of changes compiles. It does not. Okay. So we have this. It doesn't like this string to IO thing with actual type IO. Well, you may not like it. Oh, you know what? It's because I kept this second string argument in the type signature. I think that's why. Main is not defined. Does it need to be defined? Does every... I don't think a Haskell module necessarily needs a main, does it? Do I call main somewhere? In the IO action main is not defined in module main main. I don't know what that means, but let's try just compiling wget. And I get the same error. Okay, so let's try to figure this out. I think it's something that I did wrong. Maybe it doesn't like that I changed it from a binary to a library for some reason. Maybe it's trying to read something from cache. So it's a Haskell library. We have sources and depths, which makes it, I guess, similar to this SQL thing. And in this wget, in the SQL wget integration test, we need to add a dependency on that. We do have a main one, but I don't think that that's interfering with anything. So what if we just try to build SQL wget test? The same thing. Let's try just looking up this error. Is it because I do something then like some exporting thing? Module where? Oh, I need to define, I guess, a module name. Module wget where. Is that all? Okay, so it doesn't, it's unhappy that I haven't imported this PJ stuff, which is reasonable. So I'm going to move this chat off for just a second. Okay, so we're going to, oh, no, we're not doing that. We're going to import all of these. We don't need the Protos lector. Maybe I am importing a version of now that I see this, I think that maybe I am importing the lector protos as a protolens thing. And I thought before that I wasn't because of this lector.hs file. Am I auto-generating another version of lector protos? Haskell proto library. I don't know. I guess I should have documented this. So the what's going on is I'm using two different proto libraries, and I'm going to rationalize that, or rather, like fix or improve it in the future. But right now, I'm kind of stuck with using these two different libraries, and I think that Haskell proto library is maybe the proto 3. No. Okay, so this is probably protolens. So I probably do have access to both of them. And then in addition, I have this lector HS, which is not a proto library, but is instead a separate implementation of, I generated this lector.h file using Proto 3 Suite. So this is the separate implementation of it that is not using Google's protolens library, is I think what's going on. So that means I can just copy the syntax from, not from that. I think I can just copy the syntax for the accessor that I saw on the article proto. At any rate, what was I doing? I was importing PJ stuff. So we just need the job fields, and we need to propagate this stuff to the build file. And which I think I just need this one line, right? So something is duplicated in here. Oh, it's the thing I just added. Okay. So we've got some parser error. Not in scope. Type, constructor, or class connection. So this is a this thing, which I guess I should try doing import qualified. And then do I do connection dot connection? No module named. Do I do it like Haskell dot connection? Oh, first of all, it's not in the dependencies. So let's try just verifying that we get the well, it seems like connection better. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, cool. So let's check if, or do I import it? Am I importing Haskell? No. Wait, yes. Okay, so it does like that. So I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to, how exactly I'm supposed to qualify it. No module Haskell is imported. Okay, seemed to have liked that better. So not in scope, this parser stuff, parser options. And that's because I need to import something, the opt_parse stuff, right? Is this the right thing? Options.applicative? Let's try it. I think this should fail because I probably don't have this one in the old depths. Okay, yeah. And I guess I do need this byte string stuff. Fine, fine. Do I need anything else? Micro lens, maybe micro lens. I don't know. Well, I have micro lens. Okay, so this byte string thing I need to actually import. What is this car 8? Oh, this is the one I need. All right, now I'm getting a bunch of new errors, which I think means progress. So decode message or die. This comes from ProtoLens. And also show message. So all that stuff, well, some of this stuff should be improved now. Run is not in scope. Run should, I think, come from Haskell. Is it Is it session.run? Let's try session.run. Okay, so it seems to like importing session.run. But let's qualify it. I think maybe that. Okay, so now it doesn't like exit failure, which we shouldn't even have anymore. Oh, yes, we should. Because that's how I'm telling the tests that they're failing. So let's import those. And add them to the build file. Or maybe I don't. Maybe they just are in base. And look up env. And we need things like acquire. Maybe acquire is also in session, or maybe it's in connection. I'm gonna guess it's in connection, which I already have. Let's try changing acquire to haskell.connection.acquire. And then what else is not in scope? Right, job proto 2DB. Well, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. Oh, you know what? This is just all stuff we don't need to do. What we do need to do is call get job proto from database. So something about a case alternative. Oh, yeah. I need to pass it the connection, right? Okay, so it seems to compile. Compile is not the same as the test passing, but it is progress. So I do get a bunch of jobs. They all have the same URL, which is cat. That's not a valid URL. So that should cause wget to fail. Unfortunately, the test passes, and it should not pass. Well, I guess it should pass because right now I'm just telling it to show the message. And now I can try calling download page or die, something like that. And then I need to pass in the job. And that's maybe one of these tilde things. So I can maybe just try to steal this code from myself. So the URL will be job caret.p.field at URL. I think this is one of this is a little bit crazier than the standard syntax for grabbing a field from a proto, because the field URL appears in both job and article protos. And Haskell in general has difficulties when like records have the same name, essentially, is what's going on, I think. But let's try that. Pattern syntax in expression. Do you mean to enable type applications? Probably. Probably. A lot of this would be a lot easier if I could just like grab all of the imports and have some way that I knew and trusted that would like remove unused imports. And maybe there is such a thing for Haskell. Let's see, Haskell remove unused imports. I don't want the compiler to do it. I guess GHC will make a warning. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I could do it as a compiler thing, but it would be nice to have like some sort of script that maybe Haskell language server will do it. Last time I tried to run Haskell language server, it was pretty slow and laggy, but that was a while ago. It was maybe well over a year ago, possibly 2 years ago. Okay, so we have this p field that it doesn't like. So I need to import protolens field. And possibly that's another thing I need to import separately. So let's take a look. I kind of like that protolens, if we're going to have a package, it's not a bunch of separate packages that I have to import. Although it would be nice, I think, to have finer granularity to like on the import itself. Okay. Illegal type URL. Perhaps I intended to use data kinds. I probably did. I don't know why I keep going to recent files. I should be going to the buffer list. Okay, so let's try enabling data kinds. Okay, so fetch job is not in scope. This variable is not in scope. Okay, so maybe I need to import one of these. That's not a thing. Download page or die. First of all, this D would need to be capitalized. Second of all, I'm not convinced that's actually what I named that function. So let's go back to that in a minute. I think I need to import this lens micro stuff. And in fact, I think I only need this thing that looks like a nose. And let's make sure I have microlens on the wget integration test. But I already had it. Look at that. And I guess I just need to fix this. You know what? I never imported the wget library, right? So and let's see if that works. And then we get this text thing. We can't match it with car. And I think that maybe this is a matter of enabling one more whatever these things are called. Language features, perhaps. No. Okay, so maybe this is a legitimate error. Let's take a look at this. It's expecting. Okay, so can match text with car a list of car. It expects strings. It expects a string that's getting back a texty thing. And what do I want to do about that? I guess I could convert it to a string. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do in Haskell to have an API that makes sense in general. Like I don't know, like text versus byte string. I'll ask them the AIs. Tell me about text. What is this type? Data text internal. Haskell data text internal. I don't know what this actual type is. If this is a different thing than byte string. Private text internals. You should not use this module unless you are determined to monkey with the internals. You have been warned. And then what are you supposed to use? I'll say data.text versus byte string versus string. I think a string is just a linked list, right? Of card. So a string is built in. It assumes characters are ASCII. I didn't realize that. Simple and efficient for small strings. Limited character support, etc. Byte string requires the byte string library. It represents raw bytes, agnostic to character encoding. Can handle any byte sequence, useful for working with binary data. And it requires an explicit encoding / decoding for working with text characters. Okay. And then data.text requires the text library and supports Unicode and ensures data integrity. More overhead compared to string for simple ASCII tasks. Is that just because Unicode requires extra information into code to encode ASCII, or is that because of something data.text is doing? For small, pure ASCII strings, string is the simplest choice. I think URLs can have UTF-8, right? Can URLs have UTF-8 characters? There are two parts to this, but they both amount to yes. Okay, so I guess I do want data.text. Can I have a function that accepts either string or data.text in a transparent way? I think the answer is no. I'd have to make like two versions of the function or whatever. Using hashable and overloaded lists. What? Define an overloaded list that can take both. No. Using either. No, okay. I guess I'll just change this to. But then I would maybe need to change the call to wget. So what's the right thing to do here? So I think ultimately it's the process module that wants a string, right? System.process. So let's look up Haskell call process, maybe on Google. I should bookmark Google, not Google. Let's say can Unix function programs have Unicode? In their names. Are the shell and file system Unicode aware? All right, I guess how do I convert data.text to string? Okay, I can call unpack, which assumes UTF-8. All right, let's just have this. Also, parse URI probably wants a string, right? Yeah. So does this mean that Haskell can't handle Haskell can't handle Unicode URLs? Unicode URIs are a thing, right? No, they are not allowed. So 14 years ago, it says at least HTTP require ASCII. Used to be that non-English characters were not blah, blah, blah. RFC 3986 is being replaced with RFC 3987, which fully supports Unicode and provides mappings and rules to and from the old style. And that's this thing, Internationalized Resource Identifier. Okay, I think that what was this, 2005? Haskell URI. I think that Haskell is just behind the times, maybe. I don't know. You tell me. If you're a Haskeller, and you know how to parse URIs with Unicode in them, let me know. But I guess what I will do is I'll just in my integration test, I will take this, I guess, data.text thing that I get from the proto and turn it into a string, which I will do here. URL, I'll say data text URL, just so it's clearer what it is. And then let's take a look at what Gemini told me I could do to encode it. I guess call unpack. The other thing I can do is like look on Google, I guess, for a function that takes data.text, if I can spell it correctly, returns a string, unpack. Okay. So let's try that. I assume I have to import it. Maybe like that. I don't know if I can import qualified of a single thing. I guess I can. Let's see if this works. What? Okay, so this is objecting. This is the error that you get if you don't have it in the build file. Well, I do have text. So why doesn't it want me to import it? What if I get rid of the qualified? So it says it's in text, and as far as I know, I've told it that I want to import text. Oh no, I was looking at the wrong one. Okay. Okay, now I get an error, which I was expecting to. So first of all, cat is not a valid URL. And is that the actual error I'm experiencing? Can't parse URL cat. Well, that's good. That's actually really good. It's nice to have a failing test that fails the way you expect it. I am going to import this qualified, and my throat is getting scratchy enough that I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop doing this for now. So I guess next time I'll have to populate the database with valid URLs, valid jobs. But at least now I know that I'm able to, since I know that the wget functionality works, now I know that I'm able to read a job from the database and pass it into to the wget module, and that's the beginnings of the workings of this little simplified fetcher. And I guess the last thing I'll do is I'll just create one of these old Git commits. I think I need all of these changes. I feel like there's at least one change that wanted to be its own commit. Let me see if I can. Yeah, this thing. Delete, copy, pasted. Parse applicative example text. Okay, and then with that in the way, so this Bazel RC stuff is just local change, and then the rest of this I think is valid for this commit. So simple integration test for the db to wget path. And I will create Gerrit commits for them. Okay, that's all.